Trial periods are definitely the norm in the hearing aid industry, but in this video, I'm going to explain exactly why I hate hearing aid trial periods. Coming up. Hi guys, Cliff Olson, Doctor of Audiology and founder of Applied Hearing Solutions in Phoenix, Arizona. And on this channel, I cover a bunch of hearing-related information to help make you a better informed consumer. So if you're into that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to click the bell to receive a notification every time I post a new video. If you're wearing a pair of hearing aids right now, then there's a good chance that you went through a trial period to determine if the amount of benefit that those hearing aids gave you was worth the time, the effort, and the cost of hearing treatment. Some states like California actually require by law that you receive a no-risk money-back guarantee during this trial period. This means that if you don't like the services that they're providing you and you don't like the hearing aids that they fit you with, then you can return those devices and get 100% of your money back. It's important to understand that trial periods are intended to be a good thing. They're designed to help protect a consumer from being taken advantage of by an unscrupulous hearing aid dealer. While a hearing aid trial period may seem to make sense on the surface, there are several reasons why I actually hate hearing aid trial periods and ultimately believe that they are a bad thing for individuals with hearing loss. The first reason I hate hearing aid trial periods is that they don't give you a realistic understanding of how much benefit you should ultimately receive with hearing aids. If you watch my channel regularly, then you already know that in order to receive the maximum amount of benefit from a set of hearing aids, you need to have best practices followed when selecting, fitting, and programming your devices. Now, if you don't know what best practices are, I highly recommend that you watch my video that I will link in the description, because it will explain what best practices are and why they are so critical to your optimal hearing aid performance. And the problem with most trial periods is that most hearing care professionals do not follow these best practices inside of this time period. Instead, what a lot of these hearing care providers do is they end up fitting you with a set of hearing devices that they have in stock that is already predetermined no matter what type of hearing loss you have and no matter what your wants and needs are. Then they typically perform what we call first fit programming, which is when they put the hearing aids inside of your ears, enter your audiogram into the programming software, and hit the auto program button. This is usually followed by giving you brief instruction of how to insert and remove those hearing aids from your ears and how to change the batteries or stick them into a charger. Once this hearing aid fitting is completed, they send you home for a couple of weeks, crossing their fingers, hoping that you're perceiving just enough benefit for you to actually keep those hearing aids. This type of trial period ultimately means that you're making a decision on whether or not to keep those hearing aids without having a full understanding of how much benefit you should really expect to receive. This usually results in one of two things happening. Either you end up keeping those hearing aids without getting the full amount of benefit out of them because best practices were never followed, or even worse, you end up returning those hearing aids for a refund because you never actually got to see how much benefit they would really give you. The second reason that I hate hearing aid trial periods is that they're often used as a way to convince you to purchase new hearing aids instead of having your existing hearing aids repaired or reprogrammed. While I like to think that this does not happen a lot, there are cases where individuals are encouraged to undergo a trial with a new set of hearing aids when their existing hearing aids are malfunctioning or simply just need to be reprogrammed based on a change in hearing loss severity. The reason I'm not a big fan of this type of trial period is that you end up comparing non-functioning hearing aids or poorly functioning hearing aids with a brand new set of hearing devices inside of that trial period. So it ends up skewing your perception of how much better the new hearing aids are, and ultimately you end up convincing yourself that if you want to hear that well, you have to have new hearing aids to do it. While newer hearing aid technology may actually be better for you, you should at least be given the option to repair or reprogram your existing hearing aids so you can ultimately compare apples to apples. The third reason that I hate hearing aid trial periods is that they're often used as a hearing aid sales tactic rather than a true evaluation period. One of the oldest sales tricks in the book is the puppy dog close. This is when you go to a pet store, you see a cute little puppy in the window, and they say, you know what? Go ahead and just take the puppy home for the weekend. If you ultimately don't want to keep that puppy, just bring it back on Monday and we'll give you a complete refund. So what happens? You end up taking that puppy home and you're like, golly, I can't handle a puppy. This is a complete nightmare. I mean, they're cute and they're fluffy, but there's no way that I could handle taking care of this puppy, especially when it grows into a dog. So, you get through Saturday, you somewhat survive through Sunday, and you get to Sunday night and you're like, man, I don't know if I can take that dog back. I know it's not right for me, but I'd feel horrible taking it back and, telling the clerk, like, I just can't take care of this puppy. It makes me look like a bad person. And so what happens? You end up keeping the puppy, even though you probably shouldn't keep the puppy. The same kind of thing happens with hearing aids. They know that if they can get you out the door with hearing aids in your ears, then it dramatically increases the probability that you are not going to return them, even if you're getting a very limited benefit from them. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Cliff, that won't happen to me. If I got a puppy that I couldn't handle, I would return that puppy, and I would do the exact same thing with hearing aids. But I'm sorry, the data shows that if you go home with hearing aids in a trial period, no matter how much benefit that you're receiving, there is a high probability that you're going to keep them. And the fourth reason that I hate hearing aid trial periods are the promises that are never kept. We've already established that trial periods increase the likelihood that a provider will send you home with hearing aids that have not been properly selected, fit, or programmed. But you should also be aware of a little trick that these hearing care providers are starting to use now that they know that consumers like yourself are becoming more educated about best practices, especially real ear measurement. This is when you're sent home with a set of hearing aids at the beginning of a trial period with the promise that they will perform real ear measurement with you when you come back in several weeks. Then upon returning in a few weeks, if you end up reporting enough benefit to justify keeping the hearing aids, then they never perform real ear measurement on you at all because, hey, you're getting enough benefit with those hearing aids. Why should we have to go in and do real ear measurement then? Or they end up doing the real ear measurement, but they never end up making any significant adjustments to get you closer to your prescription because they are just, quite frankly, lazy. The problem with this methodology is that even if you're getting enough benefit to justify keeping those hearing aids, you never end up getting the full amount of benefit out of them. And if you're going to be going through all of the time and the effort and the cost of doing hearing treatment, don't you think that you deserve to receive the maximum performance with those devices? In general, hearing aid trial periods should be set up in a way to maximize your performance with hearing aids so you can get a full understanding of how much benefit you will ultimately receive with those devices. This means following best practices without cutting corners or taking any shortcuts during your hearing aid selection, fitting, and programming processes so you can discover your maximum performance with hearing aids. And like I like to say, you either go all in or you don't go at all. That being said, let me give you an actual example of what this should look like. Upon completion of a hearing test, your hearing care provider should be reviewing those hearing test results with you in a way that they can help you understand how much benefit you should be receiving from hearing aids so you can have an expectation of what your end result would be. Then after a comprehensive hearing aid evaluation where we uncover a bunch of information about you and the situations that you want to hear better in, we can custom order a specific hearing aid brand, make, and model that has feature sets that can accommodate your specific wants and needs. Since you will not be fit with a one-size-fits-all hearing aid that we just happen to have in stock, you'll have to be rescheduled for a comprehensive fitting appointment when you come back in a week or two. This way we can have plenty of time to follow best practices during these fitting appointments to ensure that we physically fit the hearing aids appropriately, to ensure that we precision program the hearing aids ideally using real ear measurement, and to ensure that we instruct you enough on how to actually use your devices appropriately. Then we have you go home to use those hearing aids for a week or two, come back to the office, but not for the purpose of identifying whether or not those hearing aids are good enough for you to keep, but to identify if there's other areas that we can actually improve to maximize your performance even more. Then we do this 1 to 2 more times over the course of 30 to 45 days until we've maximized your performance with hearing aids, and so you know how to clean and maintain those hearing aids and use them appropriately. All hearing aid trial periods should be concluded with a validated subjective outcome questionnaire like the APHAB or the COSI or a variety of other questionnaires that exist. This way we can get a good understanding of your subjective improvement with hearing aids, and it's much more detailed than just asking you if you feel like you're hearing better. Trial periods performed this way let you know exactly how much benefit you should expect to receive from hearing aids, and you don't need one of these ridiculous 90 to 180 day trial periods to evaluate it if you're doing the trial period correctly. Now, I don't know at what point that hearing aid trial periods became a way for hearing care providers to stop doing their job well, and perhaps it's been this way all along. All I know is that if I were you, I would demand a higher level of care than just having a set of auto-programmed stock hearing aids handed to me with a pat on the back as I head out the door wishing me good luck. So the next time that a hearing care provider suggests that you undergo a trial period, don't freak out. Just make sure that they do it the right way instead of the lazy way. That's it for this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. If you liked the video, please share it. If you want to see other videos just like this one, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, feel free to check out my website, drcliffaud.com.